Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to day 2 of our 3-day challenge. And I really hope that you have done your homework from yesterday, because the challenge is truly about you taking a look at yourself, where you're at in your life right now, and what areas you're really happy with, and what areas you would like to see transformed. Right? We want to make 2025 the best year yet. And in order to do that, we've got to look within ourselves, because it doesn't matter whether we're talking about relationships, whether we're talking about career, success, prosperity, health and well-being, friendships, any of those things, you're the common denominator. You are there in every aspect of your life. So it stands to reason, when you focus on becoming the best version of yourself that you can possibly be, then it's going to impact every area of your life. So today we're going to be talking about unleashing your prosperity mindset. Um, so what we're going to cover today is, we started yesterday where I started talking about the masculine and feminine energy. So you have some idea of what that is. And I'm going to show you today how that impacts prosperity and success. I'm going to give you 3 keys to unleashing your prosperity mindset. And what I'd like you to do as we go through this presentation today is start just jotting down key points, key takeaways that you can use after this. So if you come across something that's new for you, make a note of that. If you come across something that you know that, hey, this can maybe make a difference to me, I could start practicing this, I can start adding this to my routine, just start making those notes, because we want transformation to come from this, right? So let me start by telling you a bit of my story. So when I decided, I didn't make a decision to become a coach. It is something that is my purpose, and I had to find that purpose. And normally our purpose comes to us through our biggest challenges in life. So when I look at my life and I go back, so I'm coaching now, this is year number 25. So when I go back to before that, the biggest challenges that I had in my life were relationships and money. And a lot of the times those two things were happening at the same time. So it kind of like lit a fire under me to start asking the deeper questions. Why is it that some relationships work incredibly well and others don't? Why is it that it is so easy for some people to become truly successful in life and others are struggling? Why is it that when some people are really smart, very intelligent, good people, why is it that they are struggling financially, or they can't really make headway? So I had to go and ask all of these questions. And the more questions I asked, the deeper I got into finding these answers, whether it was reading 1,000 books, and yes, I've read over 1,000 books in my lifetime. People say you've got to put in 10,000 hours on one topic to be called an expert in that topic. I have put in multiple 10,000 hours into learning, researching, asking questions of people, and finding my way, experiencing, trying things out. And that doesn't work. No, we go back to the drawing board and we'll try something else out. So what I give you is my life's work. It's what's taken me the last 28 years of researching and learning and experiencing it, and then trying it out with different people and seeing the results and tweaking that, and coming to this place where I feel I now have earned the right to stand here and say, I am the bringer of love and abundance. And it was not something I could say out loud in the beginning. It was something I had to grow into, to own. Okay? So this is what we call the consciousness scale. It's brought to us by Dr. David Hawkins. And what they've done here is they've measured the frequency of emotions. So you can see, if we look at the scale, an emotion like shame is the lowest on the scale. it registers at 20 hertz, whereas guilt is 30, blame is the same as guilt at 30. There's grief, there's fear, there's desire, anger, pride. You can see all of those there below the neutral mark. And unfortunately, humanity as a whole is vibrating at a frequency of around 220 at the moment. So you can see we are more negative than positive. Okay, we are below the neutral mark, but that doesn't mean that we as individuals cannot shift this. We can make a decision that I want to raise my frequency, and the way we do that is we look at our thoughts, we look at our beliefs, we look at our emotions, and we start tweaking and shifting these, and that is what raises your frequency. So the law of attraction states that like attracts like. And what that means is that a like energy attracts a like energy, same frequency, right? So if you are at the frequency of fear, which is 100, the only things you can attract into your life are things that measure 100 on the scale. So more things for you to be afraid of. Okay? If we focus purely on debt, I'm owing all this money. I don't know where I'm going to make more money. I don't know how I'm going to get things done. If we are focusing there and we are fearful, we're going to attract circumstances to make us more fearful. It's going to reflect to us that. So if I'm focusing on debt, guess what? I'm getting more debt. Okay, so we have to make a decision right here, right now. Where do you want to put your focus? Where do you want to put your energy? All right. So if you look at love, for example, on the scale, its frequency is 500 on the scale. And this is not the romantic love I'm talking about, the Hollywood style when, you meet somebody and you fall in love. And I'm not talking about that love. I'm talking about a very deep, unconditional love. That means it doesn't matter who and where and what I love because it is who I am. All right? That kind of love, it's unconditional. So like I said, the majority of humanity is at around 220 on the scale. So there are very, very few people on the planet that resonate at frequencies like that. There are masters that have come to our planet, like Jesus, Buddha. Their frequency was around 1,000. So you can see on the scale, it's not even here on the scale, right? And when you come in at a frequency like that, then you have the ability to shift all of humanity. But let's look at love at 500, right? So one person that's vibrating at the frequency of love. That means when you close your eyes, you come into your heart, you open your heart, you're sending out love, and it doesn't matter who. You're not saying, I love you, but I don't love you. I love this thing, but I don't love that. It's just pure love that you're generating, you're radiating. One person at that frequency can shift 750,000 people that are below the neutral mark. Can you see that? So when you make the decision that I want to raise my frequency to the highest frequency I can reach, you are going to start impacting the people in your life. The higher the frequency, the more people you start to impact. All right? So that's the consciousness scale. So what has happened to us is if you look at a pendulum, right, it swings from one end to the other. And what has happened is that we have gone from what I'd call the wounded feminine. So this is for men and women, right? Because all of us have feminine energy and all of us have masculine energy. But what has happened over time, if you go back to the time in Europe where women that were in touch with nature, they were using herbs and plants to heal, and they were in touch with the cycles of nature, the moon, the seasons, all of that, they were labeled as witches and burnt at the stake. All right. So when you look at that, you can see that the feminine energy has been oppressed, it has been belittled, it has been abused. It was looked at as weak and overly emotional. Okay, so there's a fear. That fear is handed down through our ancestry, from generation to generation to generation. It's in our DNA. It has been handed down in that way. So we have this fear inside of us, this fear of being seen, being visible, playing the biggest game that we can play. We have a fear for that. All right. And all of this leads to a lack of worthiness. We feel deep inside of us that I'm not really worthy of ultimate abundance and prosperity. I'm not worthy of this truly unconditional love. Right. So this is where it's coming from. And when we get into that state, we feel that we are alone. We feel the depression. We feel this intense loneliness. We don't know where we fit in. We know a part of us, that is our soul part of us, knows that we are here for bigger things. But if we are not playing at our peak, at our potential, then there's something inside of us that is keeping us stuck. And that is that lack of worthiness, right? And this is where it comes from. Then somewhere in the 1960s, we had women taking to the streets and marching and burning their bras and, asking for just basic things like we want the right to have an education. We want the right to vote. We want to be able to work and manage our own money. Because prior to that, it was like women were not allowed to have bank accounts. You had to, first it was your father, then it was your husband that took care of all of the money. So there's now these women that come with this feminine movement, and we owe them so much gratitude, just so much gratitude, because we wouldn't be as free as we are today if they had not done that. And this is not true of women all over the world. There are still women that are being oppressed. There are still women that are not free, that don't have the kind of choices that the majority of us have. And we need to keep that in mind as well. So we've gone from wounded feminine, and we did a swing on the pendulum to the other end where we went straight into our masculine energy, because those women, the ones that were fighting for equal rights and things, they looked at their daughters now, their sons and daughters, and especially the daughters, they said, you will not rely on a man. You need an education. You need to be independent. You need to take care of yourself. So women went from that oppressed, wounded feminine straight into their masculine energy. And I want you to look at these and just note how many of this is you right now. You are very logical. You're making decisions all day. You're always in the doing mode, in the action. So whenever there's a problem, okay, what can I do to fix this? What can I do to make this right? You're always giving. Sometimes we are giving too much. And we think that giving and being supportive are feminine qualities. No, this is masculine traits. The masculine gives, the feminine receives, right? The masculine is the protector, the provider. It's providing us with the support, with the structure, all of that. So today, a lot of women, because we are so independent, we are all of these things. And we've stepped so fully into that, especially in our careers, that we now embody the masculine energy. All right. So we went from wounded feminine to masculine. So let's see what happens if instead of one end of the pendulum or the other, we come into a state of balance. So I'm not saying at all that the masculine energy is bad. Absolutely not. We need to have the masculine energy. We need to harmonize both of these. But what I'm saying is we already have the masculine. So let's see how we can now bring in the divine feminine energy. So right now, this might sound strange to you if you haven't been on a personal development spiritual path for a while. But right now, our planet, Mother Earth, we call her Mother Earth. It's a feminine energy. So she is rising in consciousness. And therefore, all of us we need to rise in consciousness and bring up the feminine energy. It's time for the feminine energy to rise up, right? Not to overtake, not to, instead of, but to harmonize with our masculine energy. So let's see what the balanced feminine looks like. The balanced feminine is very intuitive and wise. She is creative. She is playful. She is fun. She's very deeply connected. She's connected to the earth. She's connected to spirit. She's connected to people, right? She's bold. She's confident. She is definitely not weak. Can you see this? There's no weakness here. That is the wounded feminine. So when we think about being overly emotional and things, that's the woundedness. We're talking about a balanced feminine here. She's very bold. She's confident because she knows who she is. She knows what she is worth. Okay. She has a soul purpose and she's tapped into that soul purpose and living from that place. And when you live from your soul purpose, you are naturally confident. You naturally know where you're supposed to be and what you're supposed to be giving to the world. All right. She's got very high standards. So she will not settle for less. Like yesterday, I said, a woman in her balanced feminine, she'll be able to spot the red flags up front and she'll say no. She's not afraid to say no. All right. Because she knows she has a standard and nothing below that standard will do. So she doesn't have to chase anything. She attracts. She is receptive. So think about, we're talking about prosperity now. So she doesn't have to chase money. She attracts it to her. Okay, it's very different from the work world that you see today. She's a part of a sisterhood. It's like together we all win. So whatever the tribe is, we celebrate every win in the tribe. We encourage each other to become the best version of ourselves that we can be. We are here to support. We are here to listen. We are here to bring our wisdom to share with others. Can you see in a world like that? Can you imagine if our work world, if our businesses incorporated not just the masculine, but the feminine as well? All right. It doesn't mean that we're not going to take action. It means that we're going to first tap into our inner wisdom, our intuition, our inner guidance. And from that place, we're going to take action. And when we do this, we'll find that we are doing less but accomplishing more. Doesn't that sound wonderful? Right? So the old way, the way that we have been conditioned, we call it the grind, the hustle. Okay, it started way back in the industrial age when we were actually programmed to respect authority and not question it in any way. Think about it. How many of us are still afraid of someone in an authoritarian position? Right? So even if you look at school, it's like the bell rings at this time, you all go into a classroom, you sit there until the next break, then you get the bell again. The teacher's word is final. You don't dare argue with the teacher. You don't dare question the teacher. So we were programmed in this way. So that's the old way. And that old way has left us overworked, stressed out. We feel I've got to work 8 hours, 9 hours, 10 hours a day. In the corporate world today, I find so often, some of the majority of my clients are coming from they own their own businesses and they are overworked. They are stressed out. They're taking work home. They're arriving home and it's dark already. And we think that this is normal, but it is not. It is our programming that is keeping us in that state. Some of the most successful people in the world will tell you that they use their intuition. Richard Branson is one of those people. He makes major $1 million decisions based on a gut feel. Based on a gut feel. And he said it many times. He said, I trust my gut. What is that gut? That is your feminine energy. That is your inner wisdom, right? So this way, this old way is designed to keep you small. There is no employer that will pay you enough for you to then retire at 30 or 40. They'll pay you enough so that you come back month after month after month doing the work that you're doing, right? So what we want to do is we want to become conscious of the old programming, because if we're not conscious of it, we can't make changes. Right? If you don't know that something's not right, we can't change it. But once we bring awareness, consciousness to something, now we can say, okay, this actually doesn't work, or it hasn't been working for all this time. Is there a better way? Okay. And one of the things is moving from consuming to creating. So creating is the feminine. So we don't just want to consume, we want to create. Everything is designed for us to consume. If you look at advertising, everywhere you look, you have to have this product, you have to look a certain way, you have to have this kind of house. And that does not mean that you're going to be happy. All right. So the new way is first we create our own unique definition of success. What does success look like for me? All right. It depends on your age. It depends on, how much you've accumulated financially already, how much maybe you have some debts you need to get rid of, or there's dreams that you have, things you want to create. So your definition of success needs to incorporate both the financial success, the money, but it also needs to bring in the balance of happiness, of a life of meaning, of purpose, of being of service in the world. Can you see? It has to have all those elements to it. Because when I provide a service or a product and I'm getting well paid for that, there is a balance in the giving and the receiving. See, the giving is your masculine, the receiving is your feminine. Now we're balancing these two energies. And when we do that, now we're coming again into that place of wholeness, the satisfaction, the inner joy that comes from that. Now, we don't want to give a product or a service that's substandard and then expect to be paid a fortune for that, right? So when we want to give fully, openly, and we want to receive in the same way, okay? So the new way is we have our definition of success and it's different for every person. So you look at it and you ask yourself, if I were to say I am truly successful, what would my life look like? Where would I be living? What would I be doing? How would I be earning my money? How would I be investing that money? What kind of clothes would I be wearing? What kind of food would I be eating? Where in the world would I like to live? Where would I like to travel? So when we look at all of these things and we say that for me, if I have good relationships, if I have family time, I have time with my friends, and I have time for work, I've created this balance. That's for me is success. So you create your definition of success. And once you have that, now you have something that you're working towards. So then every thought, every behavior is either taking you towards that vision or it's taking you away from it, right? If it's taking you away from it, you've got to stop and pivot. If it's taking you towards that, then you know you're on the right track. So the first thing that we do after we've got our definition of success is we're going to start reprogramming the mind. So the mind, it's every time you think a thought and you say, geez, we're living in tough times. How often do you hear people say that today, right? Look at the prices of everything is just going up. So the more we start saying things like that, the stinking rich, money doesn't grow on trees, money is the root of all evil. We keep saying these things. And each time you have this thought, the neurons in your brain fire. You have the same thought, it fires again. Eventually, you've had that thought enough times for those neurons to wire together. And when it wires together, it has now created a new belief that then starts operating on autopilot. Okay? So think about when you first learned to drive a car. You were conscious of every little thing, right? Where your hands were on the steering and the gears and the brakes and the accelerator. You were conscious of everything, the mirrors, the lanes. But today, when you drive your car, you've done it enough times over and over and over again until it becomes automatic. So now when you drive from point A to point B, you don't even think about it. Your actions are all automated. So when we've got limiting beliefs around money, success, prosperity, abundance, wealth, then and that's operating on autopilot, it's controlling the decisions that you make. If you're presented with two opportunities and you have a limited mindset, you'll choose the opportunity that's going to be limited. But when we have an abundance, a prosperity mindset, when we think, I live in an abundant world, I am, hey, I'm God's kid, So I deserve all the abundance in the world. So when we start thinking aligned to abundance, then those same two opportunities are there. You're going to choose the one subconsciously because that's your programming. You're going to subconsciously gravitate to the one that's going to be really successful. Okay, so our mind is such a powerful instrument that we can use to shift and change our beliefs around money. And a lot of those beliefs are not even ours. They come because we've heard it over and over and over again, right? And we just take it as the truth. We don't question it. But when we want to live consciously, we need to go there and question, is that really true? Does that serve me? And if it doesn't, do I really want to hold on to this belief? Right? Or can I let that go and reprogram? The mind is so beautiful that you can reprogram. So when you no longer think a certain thought, those neurons no longer fire together, which means they no longer wire together. So you can unwire those old beliefs and create new beliefs. Okay, so each time you're on that limited belief, you catch it and you shift it, catch it and shift it. And as we do that, we start reprogramming new beliefs, and now we have a prosperity mindset. So that's the first one. The second one is emotions, which is far more important because when we look at what we call the brain field and the heart field. So the brain is the thoughts that you're thinking, the heart is the emotions that you're feeling, right? So the emotional field, so when you feel an emotion, that field is 10,000 times stronger than the thought. So what do you think is more important? So I can say, I'm rich, I'm rich, I'm rich, money comes to me quickly and easily. We can say all these affirmations, but if the feeling inside of us is nervousness, anxiety, fear, I don't know where the money is going to come from, I'm scared. If those are the feelings inside of you, the feelings will win every single time. So we need to go in and say, what is it that I feel about money? If I was given double my income right now, how would I feel? If it was triple, how would I feel? If it's 4 times, 5 times, 6 times, 7 times, 10 times. And you'll see somewhere you'll start feeling, that's a bit too much, and that's when you know, okay, I have a ceiling there. I have a ceiling to my abundance there. And a lot of people feel like, oh no, unlimited abundance. I'm open to unlimited abundance until it is being given to you. And then you notice your reaction to it. And we see it sometimes in very simple ways. Like someone really pays you a compliment. They look at you and they say, you're looking amazing today. And, or you've done something and you've succeeded. And they say, well done. That was so beautifully done. And how do you receive that? Or if someone gives you a truly expensive gift, how do you receive that? Are you open to receiving? Thank you so much. Thank you for thinking about me. This is exactly something I've been, wanting for myself. Or do you say, oh, no, 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 you shouldn't have. Oh, it's too much. What do you do? How do you receive, right? Then the third one is behavior. So first, are our thoughts aligned with our definition of success? Are our emotions aligned to our definition of success? And thirdly, is our behavior aligned to our definition of success? So when you have an opportunity to do something, when something comes out of the blue, do you take the opportunity and run with it? Or do you say, no, now's not the right time, and I've got to get this done first, and then I'll get to that? What do you do? Okay, so those things have to be aligned. Your mind, your emotions, your actions. The new way is also that your net worth will never exceed your self-worth. Your net worth will never exceed your self-worth. So, and this is like, I don't know, 99% of all people have a lack of worthiness. So confidence is not the same thing as worthiness, right? You can be very confident, especially in the work world where you are an expert in your field. So you've spent years studying, you've got a lot of experience, you're in your genius zone. You can be very, very confident in that zone. That doesn't mean that you have a strong sense of worthiness, right? Worthiness is an innate feeling and knowing deep inside of you that I am worthy just because I was born. I don't have to prove it. I don't have to earn it. I don't have to show anybody else. I just know. And when you look at your sense of worthiness, again, go look at your net worth and you'll see where your level of worthiness lies. And then what I think is the most important thing here is our soul purpose. So a lot of the time we go into purpose and we say, okay, so what is my purpose? Your purpose is not your job, okay? Your purpose is so much greater, grander than the job that you're doing. But if you want to truly succeed, you want to be able to bring that soul purpose into the work that you do. So when I said to you in the beginning that my purpose is I am the bringer of love and abundance. Okay, good, great. That sounds amazing. But how do you then live that? How do you then bring that into everything that you do? Okay, right now, this is what I'm doing. So every time I write an article, I do a webinar, I write a post, I do a coaching session, I build a program, whatever I do, I need to keep that in the back of my mind and say, if I'm taking on a new client, can I bring love and abundance to this client? Can I make their life better by bringing that to them, by helping them to remove the blocks to those two things and then reprogram and bring their emotions into that level and bring the clarity and bring the level of worthiness so that they can achieve that? So it has to infiltrate everything. I can't sit down with my friends and then talk about lack and complain about a partner or complain about other people and how horrible they're being to me, because that means it's a lack of love, right? So, and I'm not saying I'm perfect at it, right? There are some people that really piss me off. So then, my friends will hear about it. But it's done with an awareness that this is not who I am. That this is something that I'm feeling right now and I need to shift it. I need to feel it, release it, and then move myself up the consciousness scale. Okay, so the soul purpose is a lot deeper than saying, here's my talents, these are the gifts. And we start with that. We start with saying, this is what I do really well. This is what brings me joy. This is what makes a difference in the world. But it's also where you go on an inner journey where we can't do a soul journey to find your soul purpose if you've got a ton of blocks in the way. So if you've got the mental blocks, the emotional blocks, the behavioral blocks there, you can't actually go and find your soul purpose. So those things need to happen first. And when you're feeling, I'm open, I'm feeling light, I'm feeling like I love myself, I love who I am, and now I want to serve, I want to give to the world, right? And then we tap into soul purpose. And from there, we say, okay, so how do we bring soul purpose into what we are doing? And that doesn't mean you've got to now suddenly go and quit your job and then go and find something completely different. We look at ways in which you can bring your soul purpose into what you are currently doing. All right? So the three keys to unleashing your prosperity mindset, the one is your soul purpose, the two is your sense of worthiness and self-love. When you have worthiness, self-love becomes automatic. You don't have to work on self-love if you have worthiness. All right? Because worthiness is that deep, innate sense of knowing who I am and knowing that I'm deserving of whatever it is I think of, I dream of, I'm deserving of that. And that's how your soul speaks to you, right? When you dream of something, when something gets you really excited, it's your soul speaking to you saying you are capable of creating that. all of us have one common purpose, and that is to create. We are here to create our lives. So when we dream about a certain life, our soul is whispering to us and saying, that's your potential. That's what's possible for you. All right. So then the other voices will come in, the lack and limitation. No, you can't. Who do you think you are? You can't do this. You've never done it before. And those are the voices we've got to listen and say, that's not serving me anymore. I'm going to rewire this brain of mine, stop thinking that, move into, of course, I'm worthy. I was born worthy, right? I'm God's kid. Okay. And then the last one is activating your divine feminine energy. Because when it comes to success, abundance, prosperity, it is our ability to receive. The majority of us are very good at giving. So we're very good at doing and giving and making a difference and changing the world. And we go out and do all of those things. But at some point, we have to also be equally open and receptive to receiving. So ask yourself, in terms of giving and receiving, what am I doing more of? If I'm just giving and giving and giving, at some point I'm going to be depleted. All right. So then can I give and then also open myself up to receive? Can I notice, watch myself, observe how I receive? Start with the little things. If someone gives you a compliment, if they give you a gift, if they make you a cup of coffee, they give you a rose, whatever, the little things, start there and notice how you receive. Because if you receive the little things well, then you get more. And then you receive those things well and you're grateful for that, you receive more. All right. So we keep moving in that upward spiral of that. So what I want to do now is I want to take you through a little exercise where we're going to tap into the frequency of abundance, right? Anything that you think and see and feel, you will manifest. So that is how manifestation works. That means my thoughts have to be aligned to it. My vision is now aligned to it. And then the emotion, the feeling is also aligned to it. All right. So wherever you are, I want you to just close your eyes. Make yourself really, really comfortable wherever you are. Uncross your arms and legs because we want energy to be flowing freely. All right. Take a deep breath in and then close your eyes and just feel yourself now beginning to relax from the top of your head. Just feel all the muscles there around your scalp beginning to relax. This relaxed feeling is moving into your forehead, around your temples, into your jaw. If there's any tightness there, then just release it. And let this relaxed feeling move into your neck and shoulders. This is where we carry all our burdens. And for now, I want you to just let go. Just let it go. Relax completely. Let this relaxed feeling move down your arms, through your elbows, all the way down your hands, through your wrists, into your fingers, right into your fingertips, just letting go, relaxing more and more. And take a deep breath now into the chest area. And notice if there's any tightness there on the out breath, just let that go. Just feeling yourself relaxing more and more. And let this relaxed feeling move into your stomach, over your hips, through the pelvic bone, all the way into your thighs, through your knees, just letting go, relaxing, relaxing, letting go even more, even more. And it's moving further down now, through your ankles, into your feet, all the way into the tips of your toes. Just completely relaxed. You are safe. I want you to see yourself now standing at the top of a flight of 10 stairs that's leading down into a beautiful garden. And you're going to start walking down these stairs now from 10 to 9 to 8, just relaxing more and more. 7, 6, 5, feeling 10 times more relaxed. 4, 3, 2, just letting go completely. 1, and you step into this beautiful garden. This is your safe place. And as you walk through this garden, I want you to notice the abundance of nature, the abundance of trees. There's so many leaves on the trees that you can't even count them. You take in deep breaths of this beautiful fresh air, which is unlimited, infinite. You notice around you the beautiful flowers, there's birds chirping. Just notice and feel the sense of abundance around you. And you think to yourself, if nature is so abundant, this is the natural state, then surely my natural state is abundance. So I want you to go and feel within your heart, see a green light there. Just visualize this beautiful green light. And this green light represents prosperity. And as you breathe in, feel this green light of prosperity filling your chest. Prosperity is my natural state. Abundance is my natural state. There is more than enough available in the world for me and everybody else. And breathing deeply and watch this green light beginning to expand. It's moving up into your throat, down into your stomach. And it's starting to fill you with the frequency of abundance. And focus for a moment on all that you already have. You have a home. You have the means to be on this program right now. You have enough food to eat. You have plenty of water, plenty of fresh air to breathe. You have people in your life. There are beautiful animals on this planet. The sea is not limited. You can't even begin to count the liters of water in the sea. You can't count the number of trees on the planet. You can't count the grains of sand. It's abundant. And when you think about money, there are trillions of dollars changing hands every single day. And I want you to feel into this and tap into this unlimited abundance, unlimited prosperity that is there, that is available. It is available for everyone, including you. Just feel this prosperity now growing. This green light is growing more and more. It's filling every cell in your body. And you are now vibrating at the frequency of abundance. And you're sending this abundance out into the world. Let it fill every cell in your body now. It's moving out around you. And you're sending this abundance frequency out into the world. It's touching your family. It's touching all your friends. It's touching your bank accounts. It's moving out into the world and it's moving into your entire country. See your country abundant. There is more than enough for everyone. And it's moving now beyond your country and it's moving into the whole planet. And see abundance for everybody. Everyone is prosperous, abundant. And as you see this, can you see the peace that comes over the world? There is no lack. There is no limitation. There's food for everyone. There's shelter for everyone. There's a beautiful home for everyone. There's prosperity for everyone, including you. And just feel into the sense of prosperity. And I want you to focus in and see the amount of money you have in your bank account. And just look at that and see that amount double. In the positive, double. And feel what that feels like. And then see it double again. and just feel what that feels like. What does abundance, prosperity feel like? And see that amount double yet again and again and again and again, overflowing with prosperity. It is yours. Align with it. Ask for it. Receive it. Be open to opportunities that come your way. And you say clearly to the universe, I am ready to receive unlimited abundance now. And keep this feeling with you. Walk back to the stairs. You're walking up the stairs now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just begin to move your fingers and toes a bit. Breathing deeply, coming back into your body, back into the room. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. You're back in your chair, fully awake in the present moment. Okay. That's you just tapping into the frequency of abundance just for a couple of minutes. And if you do this on a regular basis, once a day, and just take 4 or 5 minutes, and you do this before you hop out of bed or before you go to sleep at night, you are now increasing your frequency to the frequency of abundance. You're training yourself into a higher frequency. Okay, you can't be in a feeling of shame, blame, guilt, anger, fear, and attract abundance from there. You've got to be in a place of gratitude and the feeling of abundance and prosperity, because I said the feeling is 10,000 times stronger than the thought, right? When you're in that feeling space of abundance, now you activate the law of attraction and you bring that abundance to you. So I firmly believe that it is time for good people to make good money, because these are the people that are going to go out and change the world, right? So it is time for you to make a decision right here, right now, to step into your magnificence, your true radiance, your purpose. Claim it. It's the only way to change the world. When enough people are living from their purpose, good people living from their purpose, giving to the world from this place and earning from this place, we can change the world. So I'm going to give you a hot tip before we end, right? And the hot tip is that you are in a relationship with money. So imagine for a moment that money is this really gorgeous person, man or woman, gorgeous, right? Has the best manners and is really charismatic and very well dressed and really, really abundant and opulent. And now you say to this person that you're in a relationship with, and you say, you're never there when I need you. Like, where were you when I had all these bills to pay? You were not there. You're never enough. I need more, but you're never enough. Like you're the root of all evil. Imagine if we were saying these things to a person. Do you think that person's going to stay in your life long? Right? So when it comes to money, do we have a relationship where we are grateful for what is coming in? Even when we have to pay a bill, can we do it with gratitude? I have the money to pay this electricity bill, so I'm grateful. I have the money to pay for this internet. I'm grateful because now it opens up the whole world to me. I can be on this call. I can talk to anyone, anywhere in the world, right? I can research anything. I can listen to podcasts. I can read books online. I can do all of this. So I'm paying this with gratitude. Can you see how we shift? We shift our relationship with money as it comes in and as it goes out. So your challenge for today, for this session, is one is I want you to calculate your net worth. And you're going to do that by taking all of your assets, every single thing that you own, put your values to that, right? Your home, your car, your investments, money in the bank, all of it, jewelry, whatever you have. Put all of that down and then minus all of the liabilities. So if you're owing anything on your house and cars and loans and credit cards and things, you'll minus that from there and you come up with your net worth. I want you to look at that figure and ask yourself, am I happy with this? And if not, what am I going to do now, starting today, that's going to shift me to a sorry, to a higher frequency, right? Because money is just that. It's a frequency, it's an energy. That's all it is, an energy. So do I want more energy or less? Then the second thing you're going to do is you're going to list 3 takeaways from the session, right? Because I asked you in the beginning to jot down notes, anything that's new to you, anything that's like an aha moment for you, write that down, things that you can implement, right? So 3 things that you can implement for the next 30 days. Can you make a commitment to yourself, whether you're going to work on worthiness or whether you're going to take that guided visualization that we did and just do that every day for 30 days. You could really start becoming grateful for money as it comes in and as it goes out. Whatever it is, that is your challenge to yourself. Okay, let's see where we're at. Okay. All right. If you've got any questions, you can pop it in the chat if you like, or you can unmute yourself at this point and, give me something, anything, whether it's a takeaway or whether it's something that you're going to commit to do for the next 30 days for yourself, or if you have a question, we can go there. Anybody? One of the members said to me yesterday that it's quite intimidating when you've been listening passively for almost an hour and then suddenly you're going to have to speak. So I want to let you know that this is a safe space. There's no judgment here. No question is not right. Okay. Let's see. So there's someone here saying, I will commit to saying I am worthy. Beautiful. And the more you say it, I want you to say it with feeling. Because remember, the emotion is stronger than the words, right? So say it, but also feel it. What would it feel like if you were completely 100% utterly worthy? Feel that. And I'd like to get some feedback from you as well. Come back and say, look, I've been doing this for 30 days and this is what's changed for me. Anyone else?
Hi, yes, Shakira. Oh,
hello.
Carry on, please.
No, please go ahead.
No, you go first.
Okay.
I insist.
Shakira, go.
Okay, thank you so much for that. I appreciate it. Kes, thank you for a very informative, very deep session. I really appreciated that guided meditation. I just want to share my takeaway from today is around the feminine, and you're expanding on that, especially where we are in the world right now, and everything that's going on and people awakening and becoming more consciously aware of their innate value and worth, and that is not tied to anything of the material world, but like you say, bring our purpose into our daily actions that have a ripple effect in the lives of our loved ones and humanity, because we all come from one source. And we're not designed to, compete and compare with each other, because source created us uniquely in an image. And the last takeaway was, when we feel triggered, we honor the emotions that we feel and allow ourselves to be without any self-judgment, because that's also okay, everything's not that deep, and we allow ourselves to be just the way we are, because God loves us regardless, and I guess where we are right now is like for us to just exist and see ourselves as an aspect of the divine, and that's why we are so innately worthy.
Yes.
So thank you so much.
Thank you, Shakira. Yes, it's actually coming home to ourselves, say, to who we truly are, the most authentic version of ourselves. And we must never take away from the prosperity part of it. It's like when we completely align, the prosperity is a happy side effect, right? It's something that comes because our thoughts, our emotions, our actions, all of it is aligned with prosperity. Okay. All right. I'm not sure who that was. It says iPhone.
It's
Thank you.
Diane. It's Diane.
Hi, Diane.
I just want to give myself some homework and maybe you can just add something to it to help me. What I want to try and do over the next 30 days is every day to review the day and check the alignment between my thoughts, my feelings, and my actual behaviors, what I did that day. And I don't know if I should graph it, put it on a graph, or whether somebody has just something that would help me track it. Because I want to encourage myself by seeing an upward trajectory, not going down or all over the place.
Yeah, yeah. I find that one of the things I do is, yes, I do use a graph. So it's over 30 days, and then I rate my mindset for the day. So out of 1 out of 10, I rate my emotions for the day, and I rate actions for the
Okay.
day. So then if you can plot it along that three different,
Oh,
so your mind
okay.
blue and the emotions are green and whatever, and you plot it like that, and then you can see. So if on a day it's the same or it's come down, then you're going to double up. You're going to say, okay, hold on, and that's okay. So we're not going to blame ourselves. We're not going to be hard on ourselves. We're going to observe.
Yes.
We're going to say, okay, I can see that incident took place, and therefore my mind went onto this negative trajectory.
Okay.
So now I'm going to turn that around. All right. And it's always about working through things rather than just putting a band-aid on it.
Okay. Thank you so much for that.
Wonderful.
And thank you so much, Sakira. That was very beautifully said. Thanks. Bye.
I
Thank
think
you so
Kim,
much.
Kim and then Margot.
I took my hand out because everyone started mentioning things. But Cass, my one takeaway was, which is very important to me, is sometimes we all doing the work, and then you have a bad day, and you kind of do something that you haven't done in ages, or lose your cool, lose your patience, whatever it may be. But what I like about that and what you said is the fact that you actually are aware that you are now doing that, and it doesn't sit well with me, because that awareness, immediately you can actually change your behavior in that moment, so that you don't have to go through the whole hangover of
Yeah.
that behavior. So that's my takeaway, besides others.
Brilliant. Lovely. Margot?
Thank you, Kez, and all participants as well. You make it worth my while coming here. Thank you so much for what you're plowing into humanity, because, yeah, I can see your intention. What I'm taking away is especially, I think I have undermined the emotional state, how that can sort of affect our results. Because on the one hand, we also learned that manifestation comes through thoughts, right? However, I deleted or eradicated the emotions that it brings up. That is, in actual fact, that sort of determines our action. Because when you are depressed, you cannot deliver, you cannot give it your best. And in that sense, also, your actions, when it's depleted, you cannot manifest your thoughts. So, yeah, that was a strong one for me. Thank you so much.
Yes, yeah, yeah. And just remember, emotions 10,000 times stronger than the thought.
Yeah, and what I've then also learned was processing. I think Kim also touched on it. How important processing, and I think it was the person with the iPhone, how important the processing is on a daily basis. Like you said, you check with yourself in the morning and then again in the evening, and that is imperative. Thank
Yeah.
you, everyone, for that.
All right, beautiful. Because that's us living consciously, right? Where we're able to observe ourselves, watch ourselves, and say, okay, that was great. Keep doing that. That not so much. Okay, let's tweak, let's pivot. And we can, and because we're observing ourselves constantly, we're not going to fall into that deep, dark hole, where it's
Yeah.
really difficult to come out of. All right.
Thank
Beautiful.
you.
Thank you so much, everybody, for attending this one. And I'll see you tomorrow for the last one. That one's going to be all about you.
Sounds amazing. Thanks, Cass.
Thank you so much, Cass. Thanks,
See you
everyone.
Thank you,
tomorrow.
Cass. Bye, everybody.
Bye. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.